why won't you invite me to your wedding?
Isn't that frickin' obvious?
What?
You're a farmer, and no lowlife like you is part of my family. What's the matter?
Excuse me, but who are you?
Trouble Busters!
My name is Melanie, and just the other day I sent some vegetables to my parents' house, but they were returned to me because the address no longer existed. Maybe they'd moved to a new place? I tried to contact my family several times through phone calls and text messages, but nothing could get through. And even the messages I sent were left unread, without any response whatsoever. Then one day, this number, hello?
Hey, Melanie.
Mitch?
It's been a while, huh?
Yes, it has.
So listen, today's my wedding, actually, and I would greatly appreciate it if you could prepare a wedding gift for me.
Oh, so today's your wedding, is it? Wait, what?
I mean, take it literally, Melanie.
Today, you say?
That's what I said, yeah.
But even if you ask me something like that so suddenly...
Just the gift is fine, all right?
Just the gift?
That's right. You don't have to come to the wedding at all, even.
But that could only mean... Why won't you invite me to your wedding?
Isn't that frickin' obvious?
What?
You're a farmer, and no lowlife like you is part of my family.
What?
There's no reason to give personal information to someone who's not family now, is there?
Not family? Then what about the moving thing?
Huh?
Well, see, I had a gift to send to Mom and Dad, but...
Oh, you mean the new house we moved into recently, right? I can't easily give my address to a complete stranger.
Big brother, please, enough with the cruel jokes.
Does it sound like I'm joking, Melanie?
But if that's the case, then there's a contradiction regarding the wedding gift, isn't there?
That's completely different. Money is always welcome here.
That's absolutely crazy.
You ought to be grateful that you can even celebrate our marriage by sending a gift, Melanie.
Why, even you, Miss Alyssa?
Can you not call me by my name, stranger? Honestly, people these days are so rude.
What?
Oh, hold on now. That's enough talking to me, bitch.
Hey, Mitch, what are you shouting for?
This weird husband of mine, Mrs. Smith, he's just engrossed in talking to a lowlife farmer.
Is he really?
Mom, some bitch-ass farmer I don't know at all is complaining about all sorts of things to me, see?
Oh my poor darling. That voice, that has to be Mom. Mom, can you hear me? Hey, I've heard that voice somewhere before, for sure. It's me, Melanie. Melanie? Oh, now that I think about it, I do remember there being someone like that in your family once upon a time. Do you remember George?
Of course
You don't remember, do you?
Well...
You do not remember, George.
No, ma'am, I don't.
Even you too? More importantly, I've been listening to what's been going on in here, but you're really stubborn, aren't you? You haven't changed since you married a poor farmer, have you? I'm well aware that you and Mitch were strongly against me marrying Clark, but I'm not causing any trouble for your family. I tried to send you some vegetables the other day, but
That's beside the point. Listen up, bitch. I graduated from university and I'm now the head manager of a company.
And it would be presumptuous for someone from somewhere forsaken to act like they're on equal footing with us. Absolutely unacceptable.
I agree.
Farming is a job for people who have nothing to show for themselves. Everyone knows that.
Oh, but at least the wedding?
Have you been frickin' listening to what I've been telling you? You have no damn obligation, nor the privilege to properly celebrate my getting married.
Especially for farmers, the bottom of the barrel when it comes to society. Ain't that right, George?
Well...
Ain't that right, George?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, the ceremony is about to start.
Oh, shit, that's right. Well then, Dad'll go over to your place to collect the gift, which you know full well what it ought to be. What? Please, take care of it, Melanie Crackhead. Melanie, are you okay?
Yes, honey.
Oh, dear.
I was so shocked that my own family would say something horrible like that. But by all means, if they mean to forget me completely, then it's only fair that I do the exact same thing. I'll make up for this gargantuan disappointment with my work. Unforgivable. Troublebusters initiate. It looks like we'll be able to harvest fresh vegetables this year, too.
It's all thanks to you, Melanie, darling.
Oh, hush, Clark.
Hey! Oh, these people are... Melanie, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while.
I saw everything on the internet, you know. I heard you're the CEO of an agricultural enterprise that makes $5 million a year now. Come on, little sister, if you've become such a successful person, you ought to let your older brother know at least.
Sounds a little stingy, if you ask me.
What's the matter?
Excuse me, but who are you?
What?
Well, you seem to know my name, after all, and I was wondering if we'd met before.
Hey, have you forgotten your own brother's face just because it's been a few years? It's me, Melanie, it's Mitchell.
I'm your mom, Cynthia.
I'm Alyssa.
Mitchell, Mom, Cynthia, Alyssa. That's strange.
Come on now, enough with the cruel jokes. Clark, buddy, did something happen to Melanie? No, nothing at all. My wife is perfectly sane and sound of mind, if that's what you're wondering. Why is she saying something like that? Well, it's only natural that you don't know what other people are like, sir. Clark, don't mess with us, too. Oh, I'm not messing with anyone, good sir. Ain't that right, Melanie?
Indeed. Well now, do you need something from us?
You little bitch. You better cool it with teasing people, huh? What's all this fuss about over here? Wait a minute. I've heard this voice before.
Ah, Mr. Thompson, Mrs. Thompson.
Mr. Thompson? Ah, President Smith. President Thompson, sir. It's been so long.
Honey, do you know this gentleman?
This is the president of the company I do business with. Our company is barely afloat at the moment, and it's all thanks to President Thompson. Seems that there's been some kind of fuss on your part, President Smith. No, sir, Melanie, dear, what's your relationship with President Smith here?
Well, to be honest, sir, there's nothing. We're not related by any means. We're complete strangers.
Hey, Melanie, you're still saying that bullshit?
I think it's better that we remain that way, too, to be honest.
Huh? Hey, now what are you talking about? President Thompson, you see, Melanie and I are actually siblings.
And I'm Mitchell's wife, sir.
And I am the mother of my son and daughter, sir. The one beside me, acting all timid and silent, is my husband, George, Mitchell's father.
Ah, I see now. So you people are Melanie's... Yes, sir, we are. Melanie's ex-family, after you didn't invite her to your wedding or tell her where your new home was, and instead flat out told her she wasn't family anymore.
What?
I heard the whole ordeal from Clark and Melanie themselves, you understand, and apparently the reason was that she married into a family of farmers. Allow me the chance to ask for details. I'm rather positive that you were misinformed somehow, sir. I must say that Melanie and I get along really well. Is that so?
That's right, sir. We get along famously well.
Right, Melanie?
If someone you don't even know, much less of the same family, tells you that you get along well with them, I'm sure you'd be surprised too, sir.
Melanie, you've become such an amazing person. Wow, I applaud you. I'm so impressed.
I've underestimated you too. You're my daughter, after all.
To have you as my sister-in-law makes me so proud, Melanie.
Those are pretty condescending compliments, if I do say so myself.
It's not like we're being condescending or anything. It's just that we found some new pride in you and your success, Melanie.
Of course, any mother would be overjoyed to see her daughter doing so well in life.
Melanie? No, actually, I think that maybe I should call you President Melanie from now on, too.
I agree.
Feel free to do so.
President Melanie, you've done so well!
At this pace, you could aim to be the #1 company in the entire world. Phew. Come now, George, you say something too.
What do you think, sir? This is the bond between our family. I wonder how you can see this as a bond, President Smith. Rather than being on good terms with Melanie, it looks like you guys are simply causing a bit of a ruckus. No, it's because we have a bond that we can cause such a fun ruckus, sir.
That's right. It's because we love Melanie that...
Matchell Corporation Limited, a company that has been struggling for several years. All things considered, it's currently in the red and on the verge of bankruptcy.
How do you know that?
As a manager, I often read the news quite carefully, you understand. Mr. Mitchell, was it? If what I just said is true, it seems like you're really worried about money to survive the next few months, aren't you?
Well...
That's right, darling. Mitch's company isn't going well, and we're struggling to make ends meet nowadays. We had to give up the house we bought a few years ago, and, well...
Hey, now enough talking, Alyssa.
But unless we tell her the truth...
Oh, that must be so hard.
Why are you acting like it isn't your problem?
Because it isn't, simple as that. We aren't related by any means, after all.
Don't say that, please! My company is seriously in danger of collapsing, you see. I'm surviving for now because of the very generous business with President Thompson, but even that's still barely enough.
And thus, that's the reason why you came all the way here and to flatter me. Did you think you could get financial support by flattering me as such? Is that it?
No way! Perish the thought!
There are some very interesting people out in the world who have intriguing ideas like this, you see. When I look at you people, I remember my ex-family who harassed and chastised me, even casting me out of the family.
But if you're making a lot of money, surely you could give us just a little. I agree. Consider this a little aid to help out a few lost lambs.
100,000? No, even $300,000 would be fine for sure.
Why would I give $100,000, let alone triple that amount, for someone who isn't even family?
Oh, but your enterprise makes $5 million, doesn't it? $300,000 is just a drop in the bucket compared to what you make.
There's no way that's possible. The $5 million the enterprise currently makes is merely the total sales of the enterprise. If we include the salaries of all our employees, miscellaneous expenses, and other things such as building maintenance and whatnot, there's only a limited amount left in my pocket.
If that's the case, what's with this mansion then?
For real, if you have enough to build a nice house like this, then...
This mansion was something I bought with money I'd saved up for years. It's not something I can just throw money at like a billionaire tycoon.
Damn it! I say one thing, you say another! You're being so unreasonable! No. In my eyes, no matter how you look at it, you people are the ones being so unreasonable. Why is that?
That's preposterous, sir. The underlying problem is that Melanie keeps acting like we're strangers to her.
But you were the people who pushed her away first, weren't you?
And now you come back to her with open arms just because you're in a little bit of trouble?
I've never heard of such selfishness. We never pushed her away, sir. That was just a practical joke.
That's right. It's the kind of vibe that we as a family tend to have.
I would be surprised if you, President Thompson, and your family didn't have inside jokes like that. Yes, we do joke around with each other, pranking each other sometimes even, but we never once said that someone isn't our family. It's even more ridiculous because the reason why you made her an outcast is out of sheer condescension against her new occupation. A new occupation? What do you mean, sir? I myself have lived my life as a farmer. If you hate farmers that much, President Smith, perhaps it would be better for you if we terminated our partnership. No, sir. Cutting ties is out of the question. But you cast Melanie out of your family because of that very reason, did you not? I'm doing you the favor of offering to terminate our partnership because of your hatred of farmers, boy. Please, wait a moment, sir. President Thompson, you're a CEO and you have no connection to farmers.
True.
You don't get it, do you?
What the hell?
Mr. Thompson has run a company while he was also working as a farmer, you see.
Farming and managing a company?
It's not an impossible feat, you understand. Another example is yours truly, for I also farm and manage a company at the same time.
What? Didn't you quit farming?
I'm not sure where you heard that rumor, but I would appreciate it if you didn't assume I'd quit something I'm so passionate about.
But you're the president of an enterprise that makes $5 million per year, right? With results like that, I was completely convinced you'd quit farming.
My successful business originally came from farming, though, you see.
What do you mean?
When you're not farming, it's not uncommon to yield some produce that's not up to standards. It all boils down to one question: how can a farmer sell vegetables that they'd grown with the least amount of wasted produce possible? That's when I came up with the idea of processing them into jams, juices, pickles, and other such things and selling them online. And that brings us to the present, where normal farming and selling products bring home the bacon for me.
And that's how you made $5 million?
Of course, it was a long and tedious journey, but I think it was a good idea to do it because it produced astounding results.
Is that so? That's amazing, Melanie.
Hear, hear, President Melanie. Enough with the flattery.
Yes!
Also, you're currently asking me for financial assistance, and let's say I did give you some support.
Okay.
However, that amount will be made from my agricultural job.
That would be so, yes.
From farming, you understand.
What's wrong with that? Ain't that the occupation you passionately despise? Passionately? Well, let me explain. You'll be asking for financial support from a place like that, which means you'll prove to the world you don't have a shred of pride, you see? But this is no time to be considering meaningless things like pride, sir. This is for the good of the company.
Indeed, our livelihood depends on it too, you see.
How long are you gonna keep sulking there, Melanie?
That's right, it's important to move forward.
It was such a long time ago.
Let's start over as a family, okay?
Ugh. You trio of mud-covered maggots are just the most selfish people in the world, you know that?
Melanie!
I guess it only seems trivial to those who've said all those hurtful things, but from the perspective of one who was told all those hurtful things, no matter how much time passes, they can't forget them.
Hey!
Even though I was able to recover with the encouragement of my husband and my lovely parents-in-law, I still remember them, you see. All the nasty voices of my ex-family who mocked me and made me out to be an absolute loser.
Melanie, calm down.
No matter how many times I try to erase them from my memory, they come back to me.
This is the first time I've seen her so angry.
For real.
I shall never see my ex-family again. That's what I promised myself. But if we were to meet again...
If we were to?
I don't know what I would do. Melanie, since when have you been such a strong-willed woman?
Please, little sister, calm down. I understand your feelings very well now.
No, you frickin' don't.
Oh, sorry, I just remembered something from the past. But don't worry, that wasn't directed at Mitchell nor the rest of his family. I said that as someone who was cast out of that same family once upon a time.
That's terrifying.
I see. Now I understand. What did you understand, sir? Regarding this story, as expected, it seems that Melanie's statements are correct. How can you say so definitively? The power that comes from her voice and expressions is not the product of acting. I believe in Melanie.
And so do I.
Mom, Dad. And if you were to believe in Melanie, President Thompson, that could only mean... You probably understand already. Wait a moment, please. Let's stay calm here. I'm perfectly calm.
Your paying for your mistakes is imminent.
As though you know what we're talking about!
Well, as I mentioned, I did look up Matchel Co. Ltd. once, but the company reviews were filled with negative ones. And even better, the contents were all dictated at the president, Mr. Mitchell Smith.
You're really making our company...
Just by looking at the negative reviews, I guess there must have been a lot of dissatisfaction regarding you, Mr. Smith. Understandably, a company leader such as this would inevitably cause the business to spiral into the red.
Oh, come now, that's a bit of an exaggeration. For real, that was a little...
An exaggeration, and who didn't even point out anything to Mr. Smith, and thus continued to allow these results to be apparent.
Well...
Those who tolerated him and his methods are just as guilty. You should be ashamed of your actions.
Oh...
And I've been listening, President Thompson, but you're being too biased! Excuse me? You're taking Melanie's opinion, your daughter-in-law's opinion, too seriously, and you're forgetting the bigger picture. She claims her ex-family said a lot of things about her, but maybe she's simply remembering it wrong. Melanie, you should find evidence long before you start feeling resentful towards these alleged perpetrators.
That's true, isn't it? You don't have evidence supporting your claims, huh? At this stage, you still feign ignorance? If you're so frustrated, find time to obtain evidence.
Enough already!
Huh?
Dad?
Old man, what the hell? I'm telling you to stop with this ridiculous nonsense.
I was wondering when you'd frickin' open that mouth of yours, and now you talk back at us?
I'm not talking back at you. I simply can't look at your actions and turn a blind eye anymore. So what? Are you gonna turn against us now?
Do you know who frickin' supported you after you retired from your job?
I'm grateful for that, but that's completely beside the point. Go ahead and switch over to her side. I don't think anyone the likes of you would be forgiven anyway.
Dad is not on my list of enemies.
What? Why?
I received an apology from him that fateful day.
That fateful day?
That day refers to your wedding day with Miss Alyssa, and when you sent Dad to go pick up the gift you demanded I provide.
That day, I went to ask Melanie for her forgiveness. I felt so sorry that I couldn't protect her, and so I apologized from the bottom of my heart. An apology?
Yes, he bowed his head deeply and everything.
But you did actually bring home a wedding gift from Melanie, didn't you? You're no different from us.
Don't get me wrong, that was not Melanie's money. Huh?
Dad paid for it.
I kept quiet because I knew you'd make such a huge fuss about it. Is that so? And about the evidence, I have loads. I've saved all the emails you wrote about Melanie and sent each other. What? May I see them, sir? Yes, of course. Wait, Dad! Don't get carried away! What the hell?
Such terrible, terrible things.
I can't stand to see that. Dad!
My. Looks like things have gotten a lot worse for you, good sir.
I'm...
Hey, Melanie, dear.
Yes?
You're the only one left that can help us.
What do you frickin' expect me to do?
If you negotiate with President Thompson, we'll have a chance to get back on track.
And why would I do something like that?
As we've been telling you for a while now, we're in a huge crisis, and, well...
Then why don't you two just work? Things will change a little if you two just work.
Well, you see, I've never worked a job before. And I think it's a bit much for me to work at this age. Enough being so soft on yourselves. In the end, you guys just want to slack off and enjoy life, and you thus don't frickin' mind using others to achieve that goal of yours. No one will cooperate with people like that. No, please. Oh, it's not like that at all.
Completely devoid of moral and reason, you are just like my former family in every way.
Oh.
Melanie, I took things too far. I feel terrible about it.
I don't need any stupid, superficial apology from the likes of you. This is your last warning. We are strangers. We are not family, nor were we ever. If you understand this, be gone. Never show yourselves before me again.
However, I'm not one to back away so easily, you understand?
I thought I told you already. I don't know what I would do in the event I met my ex-family again. Now, before I acknowledge you as my ex-family,
After that, Mitchell's company went bankrupt after his business partnership with Mr. Thompson was terminated and his debts ballooned. Currently, he, Cynthia, and Alyssa are happily living together as they struggle to pay off their debt. Dad also cut ties with Mitchell and his family and has now started a new job at a company catered to seniors. Meanwhile, I'm still working as a farmer under the kindness of my family. I'm working hard every day, and today I'll be cultivating delicious vegetables with my wonderful family today too.
Troublebusters!